Hey, welcome to another episode of the Anime Village podcast. I'm joined by two very special guests. They're both co-hosts of the Anime and Chill podcast. I'm joined by DJ Gamer and Dearest Abby. Thank you guys so much for joining the show today.
Hey, what's going on, my guy? My guy, we're so excited about this, man. Like I said, man, just thank you so much for having us. So yeah, we're definitely excited about this.
Very happy to be here.
I'm super excited to have you guys on here. Love your podcast. Love what you guys are doing. It's awesome what you guys have done, and you have such a great following as well too on YouTube and Instagram, and you're like it's just really great what you guys are doing. So I'm super excited to have you guys on the show, and it's also funny to have fellow podcasters on. So how's it feel to be on the other side of it, not asking the questions or anything?
Can I be honest? It's difficult because I always have a bunch of questions. So I'm trying to think of answers more than questions. It just comes naturally at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So honestly, it does feel like, okay, now we're on the other side. So yeah, it feels a little different, but nonetheless, I love the vibe that we share because we all share a passion for something here, and that is anime. So yeah.
I love it. But we're filming this on May the 4th, so happy Star Wars Day, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
DJ's got his Star Wars hat on. I love it and everything. I want to ask, before we get into like your podcast and everything, that kick it off of I want to ask the Star Wars question real quick for you guys. Do you have a favorite movie or a favorite character that you enjoy, or favorite show out of all the whole universe?
DJ, I'll let you take this one first.
I know where Abby's going. I already know this, but since she let me have the honor, now I'll be dead ass honest. Excuse me. I curse or I just don't.
You're all right. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll be dead ass. Now I may get heat for this because every time I bring it up around work, other Star Wars fans, I'm like, Rey stole my heart. I said she did. She really did. So huge Rey fan. That's my girl. That's my girl.
Can I have a turn now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I respect your opinion, DJ. We're not gonna argue here. We can agree about anime all day long, but Star Wars, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
My personal favorite film of the Star Wars series is Rogue One. I think it is a cinematic masterpiece. My favorite character, aside from all of the droids as a collective, would absolutely be Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bingo.
I love it. I will have to agree with you on Rogue One is probably one of my favorite movies. It's so good, and for not having as no Jedi really in the show, it's fantastic as well too.
Right. And I think it's everything that Star Wars fans love about Star Wars. It's almost like a love letter to the whole fandom. It's fantastic.
It is. It's awesome.
What are you whispering over there?
Nothing.
I hear you saying something.
Force Awakens. Oh, okay.
Force Awakens. Yeah. I do like Force Awakens. That's a good one.
See,
too.
there we go.
Yeah.
Well, I respectfully agree to disagree.
I could go on about Star Wars. I could ask you about Andor and you guys feels about everything about the shows and everything. But let's get into it. I want to get around into your background and talk about your podcast before we talk. We could talk Star Wars all day, but
yes.
So tell the listeners about your podcast and the idea behind your podcast and how's it been going so far.
Okay, so it's funny how this started because I was interviewing Abby on the gaming side of things first before we even got this out. And after that, we had a little chemistry there. I noticed it. And then she was like, hey, next time we should talk about Demon Slayer. And we would totally nerd out on some Demon Slayer. And then it just hit me. I said, you know what? We would be great talking about anime. So I pitched the idea to Abby. I said, Abby, look, trying to get this off. We didn't have a name, but I said we could talk anime. Let's talk anime. Let's build something off this anime thing. So and then Abby said, yeah, sure, let's go. And here we are. So it all started again, me interviewing Abby off her passion and love for Donkey Kong, and it's Queen of Kong. So that's where it started, like me interviewing her. And so here we are.
Right. And I always like to credit that through the internet, through one hobby, you can find other people that have similar hobbies or things that you have in common. And it was just part of that chemistry, like DJ mentioned. We just kind of bounced off of each other in that one episode, and then we just kind of rolled with it. And then the show itself has formed from us just talking about random anime shows that we're watching to anime fashion to cosplay anime, and it has now evolved into interviewing anime voice actors, which is a goal that we had from I think the very beginning. We were like, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this one day? And here we are. I think we're what, 4 voice actors deep, 3 or 4,
Yes.
with more on the way. And it is just such an exciting thing, because when we originally started, it was never something that we were like, well, I say this. DJ, I have to give credit because he is Mr. California Dreamer. I tell him all the time it's fantastic. He's 10 steps ahead of me. I never thought that this hobby would roll into as big of a passion as it is for me now. Now, when I have a Friday night episode, I can say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm recording a podcast episode, and it's almost feels good that it's part of my routine now. It gives me something to look forward to. And this is, I mean, not to dive off the deep end with it, but if there's anybody out there who's thinking about starting a podcast, don't be afraid, because your community's waiting for you.
Yes.
Right.
Big yes to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known from start a couple podcasts of my own as well too. It's very I jumped right into it, and it's worked out well, and had some cool experiences on the way, and that's led me here. But that's awesome that you guys are able to connect. Now, do you guys live in the same state, or do you guys like live across country? How does it work out for, how'd you like, I know you guys met via interview, but are you guys close by or no?
No, he's actually in California and I'm in Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's fun to balance the time zones. We'll go, okay, this person's going to be here on this time and this time. And we always have to, I've gotten really good over the time trying to figure out what time is something for me and what time is something for him.
It's crazy what the world is like, how the world you can connect with someone just through doing a podcast, and then look where now you guys both have your own podcast. And Texas is a good area to be for the voice acting, because I know from living in Dallas, I know that the voiceovers are like right over there in that Funimation. I think Funimation's
True,
over
yeah.
down
And
there,
then
yeah.
Houston has Sentai Film Work, so there's plenty of actors there as well.
That's awesome. That's great. So I want to know too, like, where did your guys' anime fandom begin? What was the first anime that you really watched that really just kind of like made you want to get into anime more and watch more of those shows? And maybe DJ, you could start off with this.
Okay, so all this started, this whole love and passion for anime started way back watching Dragon Ball. Now, I always tell Abby this, she can relate to this. It's like, we've loved anime before it became cool.
Yeah.
It was either you knew about it because you were watching it, or you just didn't have no idea that this existed. So we're talking about waking up early, like before the sun was out, to watch it. And it was funny. I remember I was up flipping through channels. I said, I know it's early, no one's up, and I'm just flipping through channels, and then I see this spiky hair, and I'm like, what is this? I said, it's too early for cartoons. What is this? And then discovered Dragon Ball, fell right into it. So right out the back, right there, right out the gate, just dove right into it. Right, just like, oh, they fight. Oh, they got powers. Oh my God, what is that? And then it just grew right there off Dragon Ball. Goku when he had his tail, it was just captivating. And then I noticed, going into the mall, there was always like a lonely store that had Japanese stuff, and they had like folders and stuff like that off Dragon Ball. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I watched this. And then, but it's funny though, because now you see stores, they're packed, but back then it was just like very lonely, very quiet little stores. And that's where it started though. But Dragon Ball.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a cousin that was a huge Sailor Moon fan. That was her jam. And I just kind of, you go to cousin's house and, oh, what do you have new? What's this cool here? You share all your toys, right? And I kind of saw it there. And it wasn't until I was in high school, when I was babysitting some kids after school, was Dragon Ball on. And I love telling this story because it's so silly. DJ's heard it a million times. But I remember watching Dragon Ball, and it was one of the telephones, but they had a screen on the telephone box and they were on the phone. And I remember thinking, There is no way we will ever be able to see someone and talk on the phone to them at the exact same time. Like, this technology is never going to exist. And look at us right now on a Zoom call, talking and seeing video at the same time. So anybody can say what they want, but anime is revolutionary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big time, big time. I love it. DJ, I'm right there with you for the Dragon Ball. I mean, I remember waking up early as a kid and like watching the show, and I was like, remember being so intrigued by it. And would always try to like wake up early to try to catch it again. I couldn't remember what time, but I would always try to like when I was younger to be like, I gotta watch this again. It was so cool, and I didn't really catch up to me until like the Toonami days and stuff like that. So
Toonami days. Oh my God.
Right.
Yes.
yes, those were the best days. Now, do you guys have like a favorite anime that you like to watch, or like or your go-to? If you want to start that out with Abby.
That's a tough one because I think there's different reasons why I love each of them. And it just kind of depends on the mood I'm in. Today, since it is May the 4th, Disney just released the whole new set of Star Wars Visions and an animated series. And I watched the first 2 episodes of that. And while it isn't typical Japanese anime, it is still animation. And the first 2 episodes of that just have a chokehold on me right now. The stories and the artwork between them are fascinating. And then again, right back to a more traditional anime style in Star Wars Visions. The first set, the very first episode, is very cool anime style, almost samurai like Sith that are fighting. So I think that's the mood that I'm in right now. But a good go-to, I think, if I need to put something on, would probably be Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, or maybe I would rewatch Attack on Titan again.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are all good. Yeah. I mean, so you're in for a treat. So I think episode 6 of the Star Wars Visions is more like an anime style.
Really?
Episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Of the newest ones. Yeah. I powered through some episodes today.
Well, they're really short. They're easy to breeze through.
Yeah,
It's shorter than some anime shows.
Yeah. And Attack on Titan's a great one. I wish I could go back and rewatch it again for like the first time and the emotions that I felt and everything.
Yes, right. I remember definitely telling Abby, you gotta watch Attack on Titan. I said, Abby, it's a slow burn, but once you're in, you're gonna be on fire, just hooked on this.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I remember my buddy got me to start watching it on when I was down in Dallas. He was like, you should watch it. I thought it looked stupid because there's giant people. Like, that doesn't look cool. Like, I don't like it. And then all of a sudden I was like, mouth dropped. I was like, what is going on? Like, so DJ, what's your favorite or your go-to? What do you enjoy?
Honestly, my go-to obviously would always be Dragon Ball, but one of the main reasons me and Abby started this was Demon Slayer, because that's what we talked about and that's what was on fire at the time. It was just it's like it consumed the world who didn't watch anime to start watching anime. That's how powerful, and it's today it's still that Demon Slayer. So I would Demon Slayer for sure. I can never get enough of Naruto. I will rewatch Naruto. Attack on Titan. It's funny you say that because I felt like, you know what? I feel like watching this from the beginning again. I really do. So Attack on Titan for sure. And sometimes what I like to do is just browse. I'll go through Crunchyroll and just pick something, because sometimes you might find a hidden gem that no one's really knowing about until you actually talk about it. People start watching it. So I'll just go randomize, but go to Demon Slayer for sure.
That's awesome. That's great. That's a great one. That's one I have not seen yet. I have to catch.
How have you made it this far in your life and not watched it? My goodness.
I know.
Stop what you're doing. We will reschedule this podcast so you can go watch it right now. Go do your homework and we'll come back soon.
I know. I've been trying to I was like, maybe I'll just wait until this season's over so I can just binge it all.
Binge the movie, everything.
I have them all. I just haven't had the opportunity to watch them. But
I think that's how all anime is on our to be watched list. It's like, okay, I just need to make the time for this one, and then you just never do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say that as soon as you start watching it, it's gonna hook you, and where you're gonna watch the whole thing. Watch.
Right.
I'll definitely be sure to message you guys once I watch the whole thing. If you're like, oh
Sure
my God.
thing.
Yeah. So you guys, when you started the anime and chill podcast, like, what's it been like to start your own podcast? And what are some of the ups and downs that you kind of faced in the beginning of it until now as well, too?
DJ, you want to take it?
Let me see what's it like to start. I've always had a vision about, okay, we talk about this regardless on our off time. I said, why not make it into a passion and make something out of this? Let's start something. I said, let's do, if we're going to talk about it, there's millions and millions of other people that share or either against their opinions, but nonetheless, they loved anime. So I said, you know what, let's just start something. Let's start this. Now, ups and downs, ups, I think we're now starting to like get those ups through these voice actors because it's characters that we love. Obviously, the most recent one, Brian Rock Lee,
Yeah.
I lost my mind because Abby knows this, right? I'm a huge Rock Lee fan, so it was just one of those moments where I still look back and I say, oh, Abby, we're gonna have voice actors, we're gonna have them. I know we are, and then to have that happening right now is definitely a big up. It's just starting to get voice actors, and of course, all of our guests, we learned something from them. So it's just like that's the beauty about getting to know people like that share the passion, or just like at different times we were thinking the same thing about a show. So it's like those are definitely the ups. Downs. That is a good question.
Right? I'm trying to figure out how to
trying
answer that
think of
myself.
the downs. I said, okay, the downs, because I maybe want to say the building process, but even then, there's some beauty behind building something in the grind where it's like you just keep going and you keep building. So maybe like people will call that a downtime, but I always look at it like, no, we just still got more to grow. We're growing. So that is a hard one to answer, the downs of, because we haven't gotten anything crazy as far as disrespect or anything on the show where we
Right.
have people. So I can't really pinpoint anything down. Maybe just like I said, the grind, maybe that. But other than that, it's been all good. We have a passion for this. That's the thing that gets us going, because we have a passion. We want to build something. So yeah, it's been a whole lot more ups than downs, so for sure.
Right. And I think to piggyback off of that, it's all about a mindset. Like if you take having no views and no viewers as a setback, you're only going to have a bad time. If you just say, this one doesn't have anyone, that's okay. Move on to the next one. And then maybe you check back and that video's already got maybe 10 views on it. So in the moment, it might feel like a down, but it's only building blocks for the future. I think that would be the only thing that could be considered a down. I mean, I will be honest and say that there are times where I step out of my comfort zone. Like I've never done an interview with a voice actor before. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but that's even still not a down. That's a huge up. That's a fantastic thing. I don't think that I could ever view that in a negative way. You know, stepping out of your comfort zone isn't a bad thing. It's a great thing, especially if you're trying to grow an audience or grow in your hobby or grow in your passion. All of those things. Sometimes the ups are super, super up. And just because this up isn't as high as the other ones doesn't mean that it's a down.
Right. Well, I love the positivity that you guys both kind of like gave there, because like for a down, you kind of like still even gave it like a good twist of positivity, which is good because it's true. I think you said the building part, DJ, is like, is just something beauty about building something, and then having a podcast where you get 10 views, but you're still getting views in some sort of way. I think that's a fantastic way for you both to look at it. I mean, you're both positive people. You have great energy, so your show's going to go way beyond, I think, than. Like it's gonna be famous, I'm sure, one day of an anime podcast.
That's
because
very
you guys
nice
have
of you to
such good
say.
energy with each other, and like even when we were just talking off air too, like you could tell like you guys very like you can make someone feel comfortable, like without like you're not intimidated
Thank
at
you,
all.
thank you.
Aw, thank you so much.
And plus it can be one of those things because everyone who's ever done something can always look back. Do you remember season 1 of this or the first episode? So it's always nice, and it's a beautiful aspect to look back. It's like, oh my God, look what we built and look where it came, look how it started. It's just like I started off just this first episode, and who knew it was gonna be into something bigger than what it is. So I always take appreciate it as far as that. I don't look at views and stuff like that. I said eventually, I said these people will know who we are. I said, just we got to keep going. They will know who we are, Abby. Believe me. I always try to keep encouraging, because there's no sense in getting down when the views aren't there. And again, that's how I always say, people only see the end. They do not see the middle. I say, of course, they're going to go see when you have thousands and thousands of views, because that's their finish line right now. But in between those times when you don't have no views and you keep going, that's the beauty. There's some beauty in that. So building.
I love it. And you know, building a fan base is a big thing. Like, what's it like to, you know, build your own fan base and receive, you know, feedback from people as well too? How's that experience has been as well too? Or like hearing the feedback about people seeing the voice actors that you have on your podcast as well too.
It's always exciting when you can say to someone, oh, I'm going to be interviewing the voice actor for Rock Lee, or I'm going to be interviewing the voice actor for Gohan. And people might not know exactly who those characters are, but anime has gotten big enough in Western media that I can say, oh, it's an anime voice actor. And then all of a sudden a light bulb will go off. They'll go, oh my gosh, that's cool that you're doing something, that a hobby is doing that for you. But as for building a fan base, kind of it's a double-edged sword. If you post or do things that you only want for the general internet, you're not going to get the feedback that you want. But if you post things that you're passionate about or things that you enjoy, the people that enjoy the same things as you will naturally gravitate towards you. So towards the beginning, in order to do some good feedback from people, what we were doing on our podcast was a question of the week. And that was a lot of fun because, you know, we would ask things like, what is your least favorite anime? Or did you ever have a show not live up to your expectations? So anybody that was an anime fan knew those feelings right away. They were able to gravitate towards that. So then your fan base, your followers kind of automatically fall into your net or your lap or wherever it is. But whenever we just post, you know, random things, or I've made posts on my personal social media that's just kind of like, oh, I just want to put something up today. It doesn't ever get it because I don't feel anything behind it. So there's always a level of passion into your project that helps support everything.
I love
Definitely, definitely. And it's cool, like I said, building a fan base, because then you get an insight of, again, what are they looking at? Like, for instance, we have Manga Mondays, like, hey, what are you reading right now? And then Wednesdays we have Waifu Wednesdays. So, you know, I mean, everyone has that one female character that, oh yeah, that's my waifu. So we know, we always throw it out there that, oh, who's your waifu on this Wednesday? So, you know, we definitely love the feedback that we get. And plus, maybe they can suggest a manga that we don't know about, and hey, boom, let's go, let's read it. So yeah, those things are fun because, again, you get feedback from the people that are watching you. So by naturally, again, you may pick up on something that you didn't know about. So it's all good.
I love it. That's awesome. And like, do you guys ever get like comments of like, hey, can you talk about this anime, or like, can you like try to like get the voiceover of, you know, of like Naruto or something, like, you know, some guests, like, do you ever get those feedbacks too as well?
I mean, no, I don't think we've had any requests that I know of. But there have been times when I have said like, oh, I'm interviewing this person, and I've had people say that is exciting. That's cool to think about. I know I have personally requested people that I would like to interview, but that's on the dream board right now. We'll save them for the big time.
Well, that brings me to my next question anyways. Who is your white whale for a guest? Who would you want? Like, who's the person that you really want? And maybe you could start with that with Abby, if you
Me? You want me to have this one first? Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Here we go.
So clearly, shamelessly enough, I will very much so admit to wanting to interview Christopher Sabat voice of All Might, who is probably my favorite anime character. Another one that I think would be incredible to interview, Bryce Papenbrook, just because he has such a long list of characters and has been in the industry for so long. And those two right off the bat. And I think, Abby, I can't remember her last name, but she does Nezuko. And I think I would like to pick her brain a little bit because Nezuko doesn't have a lot of lines. She's a lot of a lot of sound. So I think it would be cool to talk about how you can be a voice actor and hum your lines and people know that that is your hum for your character.
Right. Definitely. Christopher is one of them because he's not just voices All Might, he does Vegeta. So it's like Vegeta's my guy. So it's like, would be definitely need to know just his when he was voice acting those lines, like did he have any idea like this would become as big as it is? Because we just had Stephanie who voices Gohan, and I asked her because I remember this match clearly, the Cell games. I said, oh my god, did you have any idea that this would be as big as it is? Because anytime you mention Dragon Ball Z, there's fights that stick out, and it's always the Gohan against Cell games. So yeah, but another voice actor, Zach Aguilar, voices Tanjiro. That's one of my ones that I definitely want to, ask him a couple of questions on how he got started and how did he how steps that he takes to prep for someone like Tanjiro. Like what was his whole pregame? What does he do? How does he have a little nice rituals before he goes into this and stuff like that? So yeah.
That's awesome. Those are all great guests. I love to see you guys get all those guests on. It'd be fantastic to see. I'm sure you'll get them soon enough. I bet that will happen eventually.
They don't know, but they will be guests. They don't know yet. They will be guests.
I'm gonna have to have life support off screen whenever it's time for Christopher Sabat because I'm not gonna be able to keep. I'm just gonna be looking at the camera like this the whole time. It's gonna be super awkward.
Oh my God, he'd be a fantastic interview just to have him on and maybe have him do like one of the voices for you. I mean, what's it been like so far? And maybe not, I was going to ask who your favorite guest is, but maybe just ask of like, what's it been like to interview voice actors and hear their backgrounds of where they came from and, have those conversations with them. DJ, if you want to start.
It's been amazing because sometimes you just don't have any idea the journey it takes to get where they're at. It was like when we were in Stephanie, she was a musician. She was doing all these other things that you just had no idea that, okay, one thing's, this is all she does, but like, how did she get to here doing what she do? And it's amazing. Like, again, she talked about just a lot of dark times when she was voice acting Gohan. So you get to know these actors on a personal level because sometimes you may be going through something and you can relate to. So it's wonderful just to see the journey and inspiring because sometimes, especially the kids growing up right now, maybe don't have a sense of what they want to do. But like I told my son, I told him, look, she didn't know she was going to be the voice actor of Gohan. She was playing music. She was singing. I bet you nowhere in her head did it ever come across, oh, yeah, I'm going to be voice acting in a couple of years. Like, it just didn't happen like that. So doors will open up. Keep at it because you just never know. It just will happen. It will happen for you guys.
Yeah, I would like to say that it is a very humbling experience because any opinions that you form about characters, the voice actor is not the character. They're just portraying them. So I, for the longest time, absolutely despised season 3 of My Hero Academia, and I could not stand Gentle Criminal and La Brava. And I had the audacity to speak negatively about that character. And when it came time to interview the voice actor
John
Gremion, I was so humbled in that moment because he obviously knew that there wasn't a lot of love for his character because it's they just came off this big huge fight in the story, so it's his season is a little bit awkward. It's kind of season 4, I'm sorry, that's the season he's in, not season 3, season 4. he doesn't have a huge following like some of the other characters do. And then the following that he does have, some people like myself have nothing but mean things to say. And interviewing him and getting to know his side of acting the character, he worded the experience and the mental process getting into the character that I had to take a step back and go, oh my gosh, I never thought of that character that way. It really spoke to his ability as an actor to embody solely the voice, because they don't look like these characters. They don't have to move themselves a physical way. They just have to only present their voice and portray their story. And when he was telling about how Gentle Criminal only sought value in the people who valued him online, that way he was only looking towards the likes, the views, all of that. That's how he saw his self-value. I kind of had to take a step back and go, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. So getting into the headspace of the voice actors really makes you look back at these characters that you've come to adore or dislike and find a new reason to admire them.
Right, right. That's a fantastic way to look at it. It's very interesting too to hear their backgrounds and things that they're going through and how they perceive themselves as well too. And it's very interesting and how far they gotten to where they are now. Now, did you guys ever think you'd be interviewing like the voice of Gohan or these characters and like characters that you idolize as well too, that like have them on your own show and everything?
It's always a pipe dream, right? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be cool if we could do this? Wouldn't it be cool if we could do that? And then one day it's just like, okay, we're doing it.
It's happening. It's happening. Because I mean, growing up watching it, you just never thought like, okay, I'm gonna be speaking to the person that's voice acting this character. So because we view obviously different anime now than we did as kids, but even as a kid, you just don't think stuff like that. And once we got this started, I said, Abby, it's gonna be cosplayers, voice actors. We're gonna get them all. I said, we're gonna get all of them. So it's been an amazing journey so far, and it's just only still building. We are still climbing. We will continue climbing, and yeah, it's just been a wonderful, amazing time. Just interviewing voice actors now. That's why I told everybody, like, oh my god, look, we're interviewing
right
now.
and
Yeah.
also too, it's not just anime voice actors. That's just what we're on right now, but we also interview internet personalities, social media people. We interviewed SSJ Goshen, and she has a huge Dragon Ball following, and she
Yes.
even said herself she's got quick contact with some of the Dragon Ball voice actors. Like, she's got a personal relationship with them. And I think that's something that we as human beings have to go, oh my gosh, we idolize these characters, but there are actual people behind them.
behind them.
Yeah. And hearing the stories that go into them and remembering, oh yeah, this is just another human being. They're just doing their job. You again find admiration in places you never thought that you would.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool that you guys, expand your guest list too, from not just from the voice actors, but from cosplayers, because cosplayers have a ton of followers. And then there's people that have social media accounts that have a big following for a certain I follow SSJ Ghostin as well too. She was a guest on this podcast as well, and she has a big following and she has a huge collection of stuff. So I think that's
Right.
awesome.
Yes, her
Very
Dragon
nice.
Ball,
She was
Dragon
so
Ball collection
Yeah.
is crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
So I always think, okay, I like interviewing fans as well, because it's like you just get a sense of a different view. Like, okay, I love Dragon Ball. She loves Dragon Ball, but she loves it in a whole different way than I
Right.
love it. So, it just adds to everything. It just adds to everything. So, especially collection. We got Funko Pop collectors out here that, my God, is just stacked to the wall and everything. So, that's all part of the anime community. That's the beauty about it. So it's not just watching it, it's also collecting apparel, shirts, hats, whatever the case may be. You show your love for what you love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I got my Mugen Samurai
Yeah,
shampoo.
there you go.
Samurai shampoo. Yeah, yeah, it is. I love the community of anime and where it's been and how it's grown like over the years. I mean, did you guys ever think that anime would be as popular as it is today?
Absolutely not.
No.
No way. When I was growing up, if you liked anime, you were a nerd. You did not tell people you watched anime. You waited until you got home from school, you got your Cocoa Puffs, you sat down, you watched whatever was on Cartoon Network at the time. And then later on in high school, maybe you got to watch Death Note on Toonami late at night, whatever kind of rolled on. but you certainly didn't bring it up in conversation. And again, we mentioned seeing it in shops. I remember going to Hot Topic as a teenager and absolutely losing my mind the first time I saw Death Note merch. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the thing. People know what this is. This, it exists outside of my television. It was so cool. I didn't buy anything, but it was so cool because I had this moment where I was like, oh my gosh, enough people like this that they're putting this in stores for people to go see and shop. It was really cool.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun too if we could take it back to, it's like the only way you knew somebody else like this was just talking like, oh, you watched that? Oh yeah, did you see it? So it's so different now because now we got, social media. We can just go across cinema. But back then there was only few that was actually watching this. Hey, did you catch the episode? And it was just like you talk about it. So it's a whole different level of talking about it now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it's grown, and it's super interesting. And like you said, like I remember I had like a small group of friends that we'd all watch like Two Down and Adult Swim, like the midnight show, like later, and I have them like sleep over and they'll like watch like the Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop was on, or Inuyasha was on, or something like that to catch up on that. But it's crazy how much it's grown and how well it's like taken over the Western civilization over here, of like being like mangas are top sellers in the New York Times now, and it's no longer it's crazy. It's nuts. I never thought I would see it, honestly.
Never would have thought this because it was just so like it wasn't talked about again. Right. It, like Abby said, like if you talked about it, oh, you're a nerd, and right, and being a nerd now, it is the coolest thing you could ever be now. So and the way anime has grown is that you see entertainers, athletes who love anime, and they show their appreciation. I remember we had I think it was a topic when the basketball players who love anime were customizing their shoes with Gohan, with Naruto, everything. So now it's like super cool to do it, but back then, forget about it. About it.
There's performers who are sporting Sailor Moon get-ups on stage, and like it is so iconic at this point. People know, oh, that's a Sailor Moon outfit. It has definitely taken over Western media. It's something that I think I wish was cooler a long time ago.
Yeah, same here. But it's really cool to see it now. It's cool to see like NBA, like you mentioned, like NBA players like Cole Anthony, who he did something with Crunchyroll too. They like animated him into like a character, and he loves Pokemon. He's a big card collector too. So it's very interesting to watch it just expand and keep growing, and I love it. I hope it continues to at the paces. I hope no kid when they're in high school feels like that they like hide that they watch the show.
Yes.
Like that. Oh, go ahead. What are you saying?
No. You're good. You're good.
All right. So what do you guys know? Is there anything you're watching now? I know we kind of touched upon that in the beginning, but is there any shows you're watching now, or is there anything that you keep an eye out now or watching?
I'm waiting to see how Attack on Titan ends. Like, yes, I think me and a bunch of people we're just anticipating how this is gonna end. So I'm very on the edge of my seat, waiting for that. And of course, I'm watching Demon Slayer right now. Demon Slayer is out right now, but just watching that, and I'm still watching some of the old Naruto stuff. I got re-inspired when we had Brian. I said, let me go watch this again. I watch this again. So that's what I'm watching right now.
And I'm stuck on Star Wars Visions. I'm just trying to power through that right now. I really do this thing where I get hyper focused on one anime and I will just watch episode after episode after episode. And I kind of have to take a while and pace myself with some of it. But I think whenever I'm ready to dive back in, I would like to start with Naruto, just because it is everywhere, almost as much as Demon Slayer, but if not more, right? And then I always say I want to go back to Dragon Ball just because I want to catch up, but like it's the same thing with One Piece. Like there's just so much. There's so much.
Oh my God, One Piece. No, I'm not doing it. I am not doing it.
It's a lot.
It's too much.
Way too much. One Piece is way too much.
Have you watched it yet?
I have not. I tried to watch it and I was like, I can't. Just too many episodes. I was looking at the seasons. I was like, I can't do it.
we were trying to do a One Piece challenge, and yeah, epic fail. We could. I just saw how many episodes. I said, "Oh my god, no, I can't do this. Abby, it's not gonna happen."
Yeah, we gave ourselves. We called it the Summer One Piece Challenge, right? We were going to set sail to the seas, and finish all as much as One Piece as we could in the 3-month time frame. And with over 1,000 episodes, it's like almost 1,100 episodes at this point. I broke down the math one time, and I was like, DJ, you realize in a 3-month time frame, giving breaks for work, giving breaks for eating, we would still have to watch at least 8 episodes a day to make it through a 3. And that's not even finishing all of them. That's just a giant chunk of it. And I have to confess, we got started. We were really hyper for it. And I made it. Go ahead and ask me how many episodes I watched.
How many?
4. I was so ready for this. I sat down, turned the television on, finished episode 4, and was like, okay, that's enough. I'm out.
Yeah, no, that didn't pan out the way we wanted it to be, but that just goes to show you how long anime's been around. Right. If there's that many episodes of One Piece, this has been around for a while already.
It's crazy. I was talking to my coworkers about One Piece, and they were saying you're better off just reading it than actually watching it, because at least you can catch up on reading it.
Oh my god,
that's amazing. So outside of the Anime and Chill podcast, you guys met through gaming. I want to ask, what games are you guys playing, but also what games do you guys stream? Like, what else do you do the streaming on the side outside the podcasting as well too?
Go ahead, DJ.
Yes. Well, right now I'm definitely playing a little bit of Overwatch, Call of Duty, Rocket League, and Resident Evil. So I'm playing that, and I haven't streamed in a minute, but Abby does stream. Abby be putting in the work with that machine back there behind her. Oh yeah, she does. She puts in work with that.
I should stream more. I really should be practicing. So when I was streaming regularly, I was practicing arcade Donkey Kong 1982 Kong on a true cabinet. That way I could beat my personal best, get a higher score, do better. And anytime I was playing, obviously I was streaming it. That way I could record it and submit it for a high score submission. And that was really fun to do. I had a really good community that way, but there's something about this game that is just exhausting. It kind of takes the fun out of it when you're not playing for fun. You're playing to get better, like lifting weights at the gym. You get a little more and more and more, but at some point you just have to give yourself a break, right? You can't work out 7 days a week. You're going to hurt yourself. So I kind of had to give myself a personal break with Donkey Kong. But outside of that, I have been almost concerningly obsessed with Fortnite.
Yes, that's right.
I love it so much. It is just the way that they formulated this game is like perfect, because for people like me who are like, one more round, right? And you're chasing that constant high of, oh my God, there's only 3 people left. Oh my God, there's only 2 people left. And that almost win, that near win. If they could market that and put it in a pill, I would take it.
Right?
That adrenaline rush.
Circle is coming.
Right.
Hurry up.
That is just so much fun. And then I also recently picked up Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
And I haven't played it just yet because I want to sit down and make the time for it. Between me playing Fortnite, clearly my priorities are all over the place.
And a side note, Fortnite has been getting heavily into anime. So
it has.
That pulled me back to playing it again when they had the whole Dragon Ball event. So now I believe there's Attack on Titan on there right now. So yeah, see? They had My Hero on there as well. They've had My Hero. So they've heavily invested into the anime. They're not dumb. They know what's good.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Smart move too, to get involved with that, to get more people into it to play as well too.
Definitely.
For sure. All right, so I have a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. But I have one question I want to ask you guys. So here at Anime Village, we're doing our own metaverse. We're creating our own games, and we have our own mangas. So with those mangas, once those mangas are created, we have games based off those mangas with a metaverse, and we have like 4 or 5 different categories that you can be a part of for those mangas that you can play in. So in that metaverse, so we have a manga that's a shonen that's called Adamanto. So that Adamanto, which is my background here, which is you can go play that in the metaverse, but there's also an RPG as well too that you can also play too. And you can be avatars of the characters, and you can take those characters from each of those mangas and take them into different worlds. So you have like a slice of life character, you can bring them into the Adamanto world. So there could be someone that, like plays basketball, but they end up, having a sword in their hand, down the line. And so, and eventually, we're gonna do, that's way down the line. It was spoke about in our last podcast, but probably getting into more of the streaming, and hopefully get into the anime, having our own animes down the line for sure. But as anime fans, we want to get your feedback and what you guys think about like a world like that, where you read a manga, but you can also go play it. And then also you can just go to our village 555 and just hang out with friends and play like chess or checkers or watch a concert there.
That's fantastic. Who wouldn't want to do that? We watch Tanjiro, we want to be Tanjiro. That's some of our favorite things about it. You can develop a passion for the characters that are in your manga. Why wouldn't you want to run around in a world and then have friends join you in this journey, especially in an RPG style where you get to play your own adventure as this character you've come to love? 10 out of 10. That's a great idea.
Yeah, Abby, let's go. We're gonna slice up some demons. Yes,
yeah.
Sign me up. Yes, I'm there. Slice demons up and then go have some ramen. Yeah, let's go.
For sure. And then shoot some hoops after. Yeah. That sounds like a great day.
Let's go. I'm in it. I'm there already. Mentally, I'm there now. I want to be in there. So yes, I'm there.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate that feedback. Yeah, and being anime fans, our world is just, I guess it's not linear. It's like a circular world. It's a big universe, and we're trying to do as much as possible because our co-founders are big anime fans, so they want to do as much as possible. They want people to get involved and engage as much as possible too. So, you can read, engage, and play and stream, and that's what we're going for. And appreciate you guys' feedback on that. I'll be really excited to hear that.
Oh, we're gonna be in there. We're gonna be in there. You don't be surprised you watch us in there. We're gonna be in there.
Right. As soon as I'm done, I get your characters ready to go, because as soon as I can break away from Fortnite, I'm going to need something else to fill that void. So I need to be able to hop into this quickly.
Yes.
Well, it's still in development, but we have a free downloadable playable. So we'll send it to you guys as well too, so you guys can have
awesome.
Perfect.
You can read chapter 1 of our first manga online too. So I'll send you the website and everything as well to
nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then yeah, appreciate the feedback. And then my last question for you guys is, what is your favorite thing to do outside of anime, outside of gaming? What do you guys enjoy the most outside of those things?
Ooh, I need a minute to think for that one. So DJ, you take it.
All right. So when I'm not anime, all of this, definitely, I like going on hikes. I love to definitely work out. I'm either playing sports, go Eagles, fly. Dodgers. If it's not, I'm watching baseball. But honestly, big sneakerhead. So I keep myself busy when stuff comes out. So it sucks because I wish I had more money that I could just, as you can see, I picked up some expensive habits. If it comes to anime, shoes, sports, games. So I'm doing a little bit of everything, but honestly, most of all, when I'm putting out content, I'm really putting out content to inspire people. We don't have enough of that. We have these so-called influencers that are not influencing. Honestly, that's one of my main things that I got into this, and it's our slogan. Peace, love, and anime, because we do mean that. We do mean that with everything, peace, love, and anime, because if you just look at the world we live in, we need some peace and love, and why not throw the anime in there? So that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Right. When I am not online, I have made it a personal goal this year to spend less time online because I found that it was getting again obsessive. That must just be part of my personality at this point. Just constantly refreshing and checking and looking for more things. And between there's a fine line between gaining inspiration from it and just doom scrolling, right? And it's kind of hard to, that line is blurred so quickly, right? So what I've done this year is I'm spending significantly more time reading physical books. And there's something so satisfying about closing a book and saying, oh my gosh, this is my second book this month, or I finished this book in a week. I'm also spending more time outside, going for walks. It's fantastic what 30 minutes of cardio will do for your brain. It's almost like the experts know what they're talking about.
Right.
Oh my gosh, if I turn the TV off long enough and get some exercise, I feel really good.
That they have a point, right? They do have a point
right.
with that.
They're onto something with that. And another thing that I wanted to do this year, I have a family. I don't talk about them online, but cooking more for my family and learning new recipes. That's something that I try to do. So that's what I try to do offline.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, you both are wonderful people. DJ, I love the peace, love, and anime thing. That's such a great slogan. And I think you're absolutely right about the influencers. We need more people that actually influence and not give us a fake world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't sell us anything. I'm so sick of being sold stuff.
Right. Absolutely. It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there, but you both are wonderful people. You're gonna have an excellent career in the podcasting world, and I know you guys are gonna be really famous. And we're gonna see you guys at cons, hosting at cons, and doing things and interviewing, and have a rotating guest. So you guys are doing wonderful things. So keep up the great work, and thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate your time. And where can people listen to your show or check you guys out?
Abby.
Oh, okay. So people, thank you. If you are interested in listening to the Anime and Chill podcast, you can find us on YouTube at the Anime and Chill podcast. I think DJ also broadcasts, so you can find it. I am DJ Gamer. Both of those are on YouTube. If you're looking for our steady social medias, Anime Chill podcast on Instagram, Dearest Abby on Instagram, I am DJ Gamer on Instagram. And then I think we're also on Google Podcasts and Apple Play. Is that the right word? Apple Play? I should know this.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. I don't know. There's so many different words for all the things. I never know anymore. And then that's we've kind of been thinking, going back and forth about having a Twitch just to have it there, but we're not quite there just yet.
Nice. Very nice. Well, make sure you follow, make sure you tune in and listen to them. And, and obviously you're going to have some more great voice actors. So check them out. A great interview. Thank you guys so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having us on. This is so much fun.
Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. See you in that metaverse. I'm going to be there.
We'll see you there.
Yes. Oh, yeah.